Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Property Pros podcast. I am Mark Goldwich, public adjuster in Jacksonville, Florida, and interested in all things property. Today, we have another great guest for you. This is Coleman Lay. He's owner at Lay Duckworth Construction. Coleman, take a couple minutes. Tell us about yourself and Lay Duckworth.
Yeah, Mark. Thanks for having me on today. Glad it got to connect, and I can just have some discussion with you. We're a tenant improvement commercial construction company. So we solely focus on commercial construction here in Northeast Florida, but specifically what we would consider tenant improvement, commercial renovation work. So that might be industrial renovation, medical renovation, retail renovation. So just picture anything with four walls and a roof, and that's kind of where our niche and our market is. That's just kind of our bread and butter, and that's what I'm stuck with. So I've been honored to be able to purchase the company from the previous owner, Hank Duckworth, 3 years ago. And so he's had the business here in town for 30 years, and we've had great success. Obviously, if we've been able to be around for this long. So it's been a great opportunity for me to kind of pick up where he's left off. And as a young business owner, kind of put a little fire into the company and a little more kind of money into it, so to speak, and invest in the company and try and grow this thing with the economy and what's kind of going on in the city of Jacksonville and just Florida in general right now. So great time for to be in business. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about how it came to be. One, your age, you're younger for that industry or that field. Duckworth had been around for a long time. How did it come to be? What were you doing before, and how did you get yourself into the process of purchasing a long-standing existing company?
Yeah, so it the original kind of career path, I would say, was architecture. That was really my kind of dream job. I wanted to be designing the buildings that you might see in Dubai or New York, or some really kind of cool architectural designs. And after getting to starting that program at Auburn University, is where I went to school. Just kind of found out that I was going to be too head down in the computer doing AutoCAD. It took a lot of years to really gain that credibility, the Frank Lloyd Wright status, right? Just had conversations with a lot of guys in the industry on the architecture side, on the construction side. And through those conversations, just really found out the construction program and going in that direction was more for me. I like to be a problem solver, like to be on site, like to do job site visits, like to make sure things are running smoothly. If there's a coordination problem with the trades, I really enjoy getting down in those details with them and coming up with a solution on site. So kind of realized I didn't want to be doing construction from a computer, but rather be doing construction from the field. So spent 4 years at Auburn University, got my building science degree with that program. And up kind of that last year, my dad was really good friends with Hank Duckworth, the owner of the construction company at the time, and he was kind of looking for a way out. And so we were able to kind of come up with an agreement over 3 years to kind of him back out of the company and train me in those 3 years while I was there. So that's really kind of how it happened. And I kind of just got fed into the fire and learned as quickly as I could and spent time in the field trying to learn the trades and kind of did some project managing and still doing some project managing and estimating. But now I know as all of us business owners try and do, we want to focus on the business and not in the business, right? That's kind of the next goal. So I've had these 3 years to really focus in learning the business and now trying to work on the business. So.
Very cool. So always good to have connections, whether it's family or networking. Obviously, it pays off because happen to find the right person in the right phase of his life.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So for him to just good timing and good strategy on your part.
Yeah,
Um,
good timing for
so
sure.
it is an interesting time. Well, one, the COVID thing is I'm sure put a big spin on things for you, or a kink in it anyway. And we also have a lot of people moving to Jacksonville, Florida, and the area. So there's all kinds of things happening that are a little unusual. I guess, how have you been dealing with it the past 2 years?
Yeah, so we're definitely seeing, an influx of businesses even looking and transferring down to this area just because of some policy around COVID. So we definitely haven't seen a slowdown in construction by any means. I think maybe early on the first onset of COVID, right, everyone kind of paused for a minute and didn't know what was going to happen. But now as we're getting back to the normalcies, I think you are seeing some businesses migrating into Florida. Even talking with real estate brokers, they're getting a lot more out of town phone calls, kind of surprising phone calls of people looking for property and real estate here. So that's a positive. But kind of what goes along with that, the negative of COVID and what we're kind of experiencing right now are just a lot of these long lead time issues on products. So as we get a project going, it's really important for us to stress the transparency to the client that, hey, yeah, we want to get this project done for you as quickly as possible, but we just need to let you know that there are these lead time issues that we will be seeing, and there could be delays even along the way. Even from that first date we got, we need to be anticipating other delays. So being transparent with the client up front and setting that expectation is certainly huge.
So Coleman, with the supply issues that you were talking about, I mean, obviously, there's always construction time when you are talking about tenant improvements or rehab of existing buildings. These are business owners who are paying, could be a good size note every month. And while they expect there to be, some construction delays, the supply chain delays that you're experiencing now are greatly exacerbating that issue. Besides just letting them know, how is that working out? How are they dealing with that, and how are you helping them deal with that?
Yeah, I would think, trying to let them know as soon as you can ahead of time. This even goes back to when they're negotiating the lease. It's really important. They usually, soon as they have a contract signed with it, or soon as they start or get ready to start their lease, they're given a time allotted from the tenant to complete this construction. So up front, I'm trying to give them a schedule and say, hey, please try and get this extended as long as you can, because we're seeing a lot longer construction timeline. So they usually are given a grace period to complete construction before their rent starts ticking. So step one would be to let them know that up front. And then kind of step two would be, okay, here are the prints, here are the plans. We're going through the finishes and the schedules, and looking at the items that might be of a really long lead time, and trying to let them know, hey, I know you want this really fancy light fixture, but hey, we might need to spec something else, if we're trying to get this completed with your timeline. So other than trying to help in the pre-construction side of things, be a lot more heavily involved in that than when we were before. That's certainly gonna help out things. But as we kind of find delays during the project, we really have to be resourceful is what it comes down to, and trying to cater to the client as best we can. And, we've had projects where, the doors aren't going to get here. So we're trying to go find other buildings that have vacancies, but they have doors. So we're, hey, can I steal 10 of your doors? I need them just to get my inspection. And then when the other ones come in, we'll swap them back out with you. I mean, so we're doing crazy stuff to really pass inspection. Lighting packages. If the lights aren't here in time, we're running up to Home Depot and finding some $10 fixture to hang so we can pass inspection. And then when we get the specified fixtures, we're coming back in and installing them for them. So being really resourceful and getting creative on these things is what we're seeing. And unfortunately, that's taken up a lot of my time that I may not have anticipated, with the project, but we're trying to, build relationships and keep clients happy. So I think they like to see that creativeness, and not being, more by the book and say, we don't have any answers for you. We're pulling off the project. You're going to have to wait, X amount of days until everything arrives. So, yeah, I think that probably is the best answer I got for you.
Okay. Well, no, that works. I mean, obviously being creative and resourceful is going to win the day in a lot of situations.
Sure.
And it's not like nobody understands that there are these delays.
Yeah, some do, some don't, but yes, hopefully, like I said, setting an expectation up front and having them understand that is key for sure, especially right now. Yeah.
And we touched on it before, your youth in the industry. I can kind of relate, not because I'm young, but my son has gotten into the business. At just 19, he's already licensed and handling his own claims. And, I told him ahead of time, there are going to be people that look at you and go, you're too young. I'm not handing over, my claim to you, my homeowner's claim that's, $50,000, $100,000, whatever it is, at your age. But he's doing it, So how has that been an issue for you? What challenges has it created? And for others out there who may be in a similar position to you, how have you overcome those?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think in the construction world, people do kind of, they want to see the gray hair, right? They want to see someone who's been through it before, and construction is one of those things where you only can learn by doing, so to speak. So, it definitely been, surrounding myself by really good people has been key. Surrounding myself by folks who have been in the industry and relying on them, to bring them along to meetings. And things like that is certainly helped. Besides that, the benefit to being, a young business owner and clients working with me is, I think my enthusiasm that I bring to the project is there. My time that I'm able to, bring to the project. I think I, have more time on my hands maybe than some older people would, or my investment into the company. I'm not burnt out. I'm geared up. I'm ready to go. I want to make a name for myself, in the area. So I'm willing to work with you on things. I want to do a good job for you. So I think, that certainly helps. And I think they want to see, a young guy succeed. The big thing right now is these millennials who are wanting to work from home all the time, work behind a computer screen, right? Well, I think maybe I resonate with clients who want to see, someone like me succeed and work hard, and actually, get out there and kind of, and be a, entrepreneur and just see succeed in this market. So, yeah.
All right, for sure. So we have we had the COVID where everything's kind of locked down, and we still have, while it looks like that's subsiding somewhat, or at least in Florida anyway, people are just moving on with their lives, realizing that it's not going to go away, on a certain date. And we're just kind of understanding that we just have to kind of go on with our lives. But so while that's helpful, that, you're not locked down, you're allowed to be out and about, you can meet, you can be with people and those kind of things, but you still have the delays in the materials that you have no control over, but eventually that's going to get caught up. I don't see a slowdown. How do you see, the future for construction in this area? once supply catches up with time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon, especially in this area. I mean, you can even see by the residential that's going up right now. All the housing is it's it's crazy, and they're sucking up a lot of the materials and giving us fits. But yeah, I think it's an exciting time to be in Northeast Florida, and I don't think there's a whole lot of concern anytime soon of the market kind of turning down. And I think we'll just kind of have to. I've heard maybe some murmurs or rumors that we might see some things when interest rates and stuff start to go up in the next couple of years. But for right now, I mean, it's really full bore. If any other challenges are going to present itself, it's just everyone's so busy. The trades are so busy. Labor is difficult to get our hands on right now. So that'll kind of be the next challenge that we will see to keep the train rolling is going to be making sure that we have good subcontractors to work with, and that they're not going to be too spread thin. And then having just good labor and just able to find good employees in general, because like I mentioned, the work from home thing, that seems to be what a lot of people are kind of moving towards. So got to make the work environment here appealing to future employees, prospective employees, younger folks. Going to have to make them to want to come to work to the office and want to work in the field and be engaged, and not just want to be sitting in front of a computer screen. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. For others who are watching, whether your age or any age, really, some because you're relatively new into it, relatively fresh, gearing up, working hard. What advice do you have for folks, business owners, younger business owners, or even they may not be younger, but they're new business owners? I know you do some networking. I know you have a professional business coach that you work with. What are some other things that you would recommend for folks getting into a business like yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely, one needs to be is that you can't come in and act like you already, you run the show. I mean, you can't come in with an attitude of maybe I own the place. You really need to kind of, I think, humble yourself and really come in with open ears to listen and learn from other, older folks, and really surround yourself with good people. I think that's probably key, would be surrounding yourself with really good folks. Because I mean, none of us, know everything. And I think bouncing ideas off of each other is huge. That's really been important with us. We have, a lot of team meetings, weekly meetings on projects, bouncing ideas off of each other. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and and they know I don't know it. So I can't, there's no point in me trying to act like I know everything. Right. So having those older team members, and then we're kind of bouncing off of each other. And sure, I bring kind of cool and unique ideas to the table too. So really, I think number one would be to surround yourself with really good people. Spend the extra money to hire employees that are smarter than you are. There's something that says, like C's bring C's and B's bring B's and A's bring A's. So if you got a team of A's, you're gonna want those guys are going to bring on more A's. So I think really want to surround yourself by really good folks, and then and just humble yourself, and then don't be afraid to take on challenges. I think that's certainly something that I've struggled with, but with the business coach and with the tab group, just trying to set challenges for myself and push myself a little bit more, and have confidence in that, even though I'm young. Just trying to have confidence in yourself, and being a good leader. So.
All right, good advice for sure. Always, obviously, surrounding yourself with smarter people is it's hard for some people to do. And those people usually struggle more. If you can give up that ego and surround yourself with folks smarter than you, it's going to work out. I certainly try to do the same thing as well. And I've been doing this a really long time. And I don't mind when somebody passes me by, as long as they're close enough, so that I can draft along with them. So in the couple minutes we've got left, is there anything else you want to let the folks know about you, the company, your impact in the community, where they can reach you on social media, or how they get in touch with you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can go on our website. That's kind of the easiest way to kind of see our work and what we do. I mean, we have an Instagram platform as well. But past that, yeah, we're here in the Northeast Florida area, and specializing in that commercial construction. And we are doing some community involvement things, trying to work with a group doing a coffee shop, brick and mortar, their first coffee shop. So that's gonna be really cool. And that'll be bringing in some kind of underprivileged kids who will be working in that coffee shop. So this is kind of a nonprofit build for a guy. So that's really exciting that we're kind of helping with in the community. Do some Habitat for Humanity work, which has been cool. But yeah, looking forward to maybe even doing some church involvement and doing some stuff over some missions, and trying to help bring construction to some other places around the world that don't have a roof over their head. So
how about website, phone number?
It's just duckworthconstruction.com is where you can find us.
All right, Coleman, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. Folks, if you want to check out other episodes of the Property Pros podcast, you can check out our YouTube page or on Facebook at Property Pros Podcast. Again, Coleman, thanks for taking the time today and speaking with us. Until next time, have a great day.